to the Monday scaries, the ultimate Monday. You've heard of Sunday scaries, but this is it.
Yikes. Yeah. I don't know if I've ever entered a week with as much doubt as what could happen by the end of the week than I have in the last several years as I have of this
Man.
week. Yeah, man. Hey, the election that the entire heard around the world literally going down tomorrow. You and I both early
Uh,
voted, so that way we don't have to go stand outside a polling place,
thank
along with
God.
the other 9 million Texans. Isn't that wild to think we've already eclipsed our 2016 turnout just in our early voting period alone?
It's awesome. I love it.
I love it too. I'm just saying it's wild to think about at the same time
Yeah,
because
I know.
the vast majority are not mail-in. They're what we did. We went
Yeah.
early, spaced out, and voted, um, rather than requesting a ballot and sending it in. Mainly because Texas is super restrictive, which is not awesome, uh, and so that's why the last presidential election, I had an absentee because we were both still at A&M at the time. But yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see if this podcast, if the internet, if social media, the constructs of government even exist. But I'm kidding, obviously.
Oh man, conspiracy. You think Ryan's back on here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. I,
I don't know if
I
it'll be fun, but
oh, it's gonna be fun for me.
it's gonna be an
Um,
appointment. This is one of those few things in life where this is appointment viewing.
it's gonna
That
make
is going to be
history for
tomorrow.
sure. If I
Literally
may,
making history.
if I may,
Just saying.
if it's okay with you, can I make a prediction here? A wild prediction? I can see your
No,
hesitation.
Kanye is not going to win. I'm sorry.
Ah, oh, damn it. No. I have a very accurate prediction of what's going to happen tomorrow. Me and my homeboys, my roommates, we're going to be smoking meats, watching either Borat or playing Mario Kart while having the live election results on our laptop, sitting there watching that, making stupid ass jokes the entire time, and drinking way more than we should on a weekday. And I can guarantee it.
I mean, that sounds very nice.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
speaking of that, have you seen the country of Kazakhstan that has fully embraced the new
Oh my
Borat movie,
God.
saying Kazakhstan very nice in their newest travel advertisements?
No,
Um,
I missed that one.
Compared to, I guess, the first one was what, 14 years ago, to where they were very anti Borat. They did not want that to be the portrayal of anybody in their country. With I can understand that at the same time, but now they've
Yeah.
got somebody who understands kind of more influencer marketing, to say the
Yeah,
least.
I think they've learned that they need to just lean into it because they're not stopping this train.
No, no, I don't think anybody can stop
It's
the
like
Barnett
LeBron coming
train.
down the paint. You just hope he doesn't injure you. It's like just get out of the way and let it happen. Get
It's
some
like the
money, get some
election.
money marketing out of it.
It's like the election. Just get it out of the way and let it
Oh
happen.
God, like you're taking the wrong way. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we're here to talk a little bit about this and how it affects our lives
Yeah, and also more about
immediately.
the surrounding, like the business side of it, the news side,
Yes.
and the young investor take side of, you know, media outlets covering this, social media outlets, and what they allow and won't allow. Not only today, what they have allowed in the past, but also what they're allowing tomorrow, and more importantly, what they're allowing going forward, especially if it is coming down to mail-in ballots that either haven't arrived yet or haven't been counted yet in some of the battleground states that could decide this election. Um, so, yeah, let's have you kick us off. Give us a little more post mortem on that 2:30 hearing with the social media giants, and kind of we'll dive into what that's going to mean for them this week and how they could behave, if we want to term it that way.
Sure. So yeah, if you go back to one of our previous videos, we kind of talked about the Section 230, explain kind of what that is and how it's influenced by the Senate hearing or congressional hearing, and just speaks more to it here on what's going to come in the next week. No matter what the results are, there's going to be a lot of stuff spewed out on social media on either side. Who knows?
If not
But
even,
it's
if it's let alone if even it's a bot or somebody that's actively not even an American and purposely on a troll farm somewhere in, even I was gonna have a Borat spoiler.
oh
Um,
man.
it wasn't a big one, but it's not. It is well documented that the Russians were creating fake users and posting things that were incendiary on Facebook, primarily along with other platforms. Um, I don't think there's anything to show that it's any different this time.
Right. So we'll see if things are filtered out or not. And if not, which I don't think a lot of it will be, it'll set a precedent for what can and can't be filtered out and what social media platforms are responsible for, probably in the, somewhat near future, maybe not in the next 6 months to a year, but it'll set up for when that does come down the pipe of establishing what's going to happen and whether they do something or not. Because I think this is going to be the most volatile, you know, portion of this. At least I hope so. Nothing else, drives us even further. But yet to be
Yeah,
seen.
I'm thinking, a couple years down the road, CEOs are back in front of Congress again, and it's more, or it's just more legitimate Section 230 legislation meetings and hearings, and how these companies behave in on their platforms and what they take down, what they allow, and the actions that could permeate due to organizing activities or any sort of speech on their platform can and will be used against them if they don't behave like adults. Is I think the briefest way to put it.
Right. No, I totally agree. It's going to be interesting to say the least, but yeah, this is going to set up for the future for sure, and have some fuel to the fire of what decisions are going to be made later on how social media really interacts with and what they're responsible for to the public.
Yeah, we'll see. Man, it's just such a cesspool already. It's one of the things it's hard to imagine it's going to get any worse. I'm more afraid of, like I said, of what events could transpire uh,
Yeah.
from organizing or posts that are on the platform, because we've seen it not only happen in Wisconsin when the asshole kid went and shot the protesters in Wisconsin because it was organized on Facebook. But also, you've seen it in other areas of the world to where acts of violence are so due to posts and misinformation, disinformation, both spread across the social media platform.
Right. I mean, we pride ourselves in peaceful transition here, and that the fact that that could be, you know,
I think
challenged
I
is going to
still
be.
think it will be.
I
I,
think so too.
I'm optimistic. I don't. We've literally fought a civil war in this country, and there were still peaceful transitions of power. Granted, one side won, and and that was the side that held the presidency the whole time. But we're not at that point, and I don't think we're, as much as it may feel like that, and that we're hyper politicized and divided in the U.S. I still think I'm pretty optimistic that there's not going to be mass discord in the streets or anything like that. There might be, but some smaller demonstrations and people venting anger. But in terms of there's a coup and power is not transferred, I do not see that happening.
I love to hear it. I totally agree too. I mean, yeah, like I said, we pride ourselves on peaceful transition. In the grand scheme of things, it has to stay that way. I, I think there's going to be, like you said, some breakouts, some minor breakouts, but as a mass overall coup, no.
Especially considering the founding fathers all hated each other on the other,
Yeah.
not all of them together collectively. One side hated the other side too, and they wrote documents specifically so the other
And
side
they had
could
legal
destroy
duels
them.
apparently too. Then, so
Yeah, hey, and trust me, and if you think political ads are bad now, they were just as bad back then. The only difference is they were written with a quill and ink.
yeah. Oh man, no, I'm interested to see what happens. Like I said, I'll be chilling and soaking it all in. Try to distract myself as much as possible while
Hey, if you want
seeing what the
the
actual results are.
speaking of moving into the media and cable news networks, if you want the real distraction, Bachelorette. New
Oh,
episode premiering tomorrow.
hey, if you want to throw me that YouTube TV login, I'll
Mm,
willingly view live. But right now, I gotta wait till the day after to watch it.
I
I'm
feel
thinking I might
like
actually make the
I feel
plunge
like
this
my
week.
YouTube TV is becoming The Bachelorette, but it's the one that's not appreciated. A lot of dudes are using it to get ahead and to not pay their fair share and try to establish, credibility and brands for themselves. I just don't. I don't know if y'all are there for the right reasons.
I can guarantee I am not there for the right reasons. If I'm going to be using it for the Bachelorette, that's not the right
No,
reasons.
the right reasons are you just don't want to pay for cable, which I fully can appreciate. In fact, my brother, as soon as we're off this, I'm charging him via Venmo his
There you
streaming
go.
half because that little shit is always reluctant to pay. Shocking, he's a banker.
Oh wow, Adam, why don't you? Oh
Awesome.
man.
But
Does he
yeah, okay.
listen?
No, kidding. He follows us on Twitter. That's about it.
Hey, that's
That's
good
what we can
enough.
get out of him. But all right, yeah, media companies. So I think it's going to be very interesting. The mystique of we have an election day winner decided on election day is largely a creation of modern media. That's not how it ever was when the country was first founded. It took them weeks to figure it out because they literally were traveling by horse and buggy and casting votes on paper ballots, and somebody had to sit there in their pantaloons in the 95-degree heat and count, or I guess in November it wasn't, but maybe it was in like Georgia or something, count them up and announce via horseback and town crier who won. So now that we have cable news and everybody has this mass collection of data, especially data on voter habits and
Mhm.
election results from polling precincts, I think we'll have obviously a more clear picture than we have when we're recording this, where we have no picture whatsoever. Um, but it's going to be interesting. I think there's a even more so a higher burden of responsibility is going to be on every single media outlet because this could go on for a while. And the last thing any of them want to do is be that outlet that incorrectly projected a winner one side or the other and was either A, wrong, or B, led to one side then proclaiming they won and leading into a massive discord politically, and then potentially also, like we just talked about, in terms of social unrest. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. I don't think it
Correct.
will happen because I think they're going to accept this higher burden of proof to make sure that it's not just their people on the ground that are, or their data saying, well, he must have won, so we're calling it, until they are absolutely sure.
Oh, Pate, you have way too much faith, man.
I do.
I
I'm
don't.
being, I am
There's still,
being
it's still the race
optimistic.
for first. It's still the race for who breaks it first.
Yes and no, but they also have to
Accurately
get the data
first.
for the same sources. They come from every state Secretary of State office,
Okay.
as well as polling precinct data. But that's reported by, I'm pretty sure, each state's Secretary of State office. So it's just because there's the race for first to report it, yes and no. But I still think you're going to see I think that the legal departments already exist at each of these companies. You think they're not telling them, hey, okay, I'm telling you, Bobo, you have to make sure every single one of these that you states that you proclaim is going to a person is actually that, because this is the most contentious one we've seen in a while.
I appreciate you always talking me down and being the rational train of thought here. I like that. Oh, I'd love to go off the deep end, but man, you're making too many good points here. Yeah, no, I think you just have to worry about them, the ones that aren't held to that standard, that aren't the big companies that have those overarching legal departments. Maybe there's the Joe Schmo that has thousands of followers that is rallying people, and then people start
Yeah,
retweeting and doing all that
obviously,
stuff. That's gonna happen for sure. But
Joe Schmo doesn't have a legal department, or going back to the social media point, isn't held liable for anything he may post on there saying, but nobody's going to trust them unless they're accredited outlet. Okay, on a mass level,
there you go.
nobody's going to
There it
trust
is.
them. I'm not saying what somebody with 1,000 followers, which if we would love to get 1,000 followers,
Yeah, it'd be great.
is saying, but we're also not reporting election results, trying to beat everybody.
Tell you what, if we get 10,000 followers, I guarantee we'll be the first to report election results, whether it be true or false. I can promise you that.
Thinking
But
McRib 2020, maybe Ted Lasso Beard 2020 might be the winner.
I'm still sticking with yay.
Gosh, is he even on the ballot?
In a couple states, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah, not in Texas, but
I won't even get into the nefarious-ish reasons that he was trying to get on the ballot for some of them. We're gonna steer clear of that, but yeah, what a year, man. You know, and of course, it comes down to the end of this terrible year. It's just the end of this fucking election.
living in history. Look at it that way. I mean, we can get past this, we can get past anything.
One of my favorite tweets I've seen all year is I don't remember who said it, but somebody said, "Man, I really don't envy the children that are going to have to study 2020 in the textbooks."
Oh, it's gonna be like 1,000 pages thick.
Okay,
Oh,
class, we this entire 6
we're
weeks
in May.
is now dedicated to the year 2020, and we haven't even. And 2021 is going to take like about half of that time because
It's gonna be a full college credit course.
major
Studying 2020.
minor in 2020.
Oh God. You joke about that, but like
No, I don't. I only have to. There's always a kernel of truth, usually, or sense of sarcasm in all of my jokes that's rooted in some sort of truth.
Maybe it'll be one of those Google professional courses that they're offering now.
Hey, those are good things. You know,
I like it.
hey, yeah, because let's be real, you shouldn't. College tuition's a whole nother pod done by people who are
Maybe a 3-part series.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, okay. So you're not as confident in the media sources. What are your concerns then of accredited media sources that have large TV reach, which is likely that and social media are likely going to be the two primary vectors for people getting their election night information,
Right.
unless they have a carrier pigeon operation that we aren't aware of.
I think that there's potential for them to bring things out that may not be completely factually true yet by using certain disclaimers and putting that stuff ahead that people aren't actually going to read or, ignore. That might be.
Give an example.
Print.
I'm curious what you're thinking.
Of just, putting out there that, while the election results aren't completely in, that, our polling, our predictions, the statistics show that most likely certain, candidate, I'm not going to get on one side or the other here, just because I could take it out of context.
We don't do that.
No, absolutely not. Is projected to win by tonight. And then something crazy happens, like with Pennsylvania, where they need to count these ballots for, a couple more days, or, God forbid, lawsuits are filed on either side from the loser, which, delays things a week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, something crazy like that. And people have already announced, and it catches fire, and people rally behind it, and perception becomes different than reality. Yes, the majority of people will probably understand that results aren't in. We don't actually know the winner. God forbid this happens, but it could. I'm trying to prepare myself for it. I hope it's going to be a significant win for either one, and we just go about our lives and in our immediate lives. In the grand scheme of things, there's going to be a lot of people in flyover states that might be angry or have some crazy discharge. But I think in our immediate lives, in our demographic, I think we'll be okay and accept and understand the reality of the situation. But there are people that won't.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. I also think it's going to be relatively decisive because I think we'll know whether the polling models are correct or they're definitely not. Right. And it'll be outside the battleground states. So if they are correct, we know where this is headed, and we're likely to see a surprise or two victory in some states that were not projected to go to the Republican Party. or I'm sorry, that were projected to go the
Yeah,
Republican
yeah, I know what
Party,
you meant.
not projected to go the Democratic Party. And if they do go Democratic, that could be a symbol of maybe what could come in after more mail-in voting comes in. Um, you know, yeah, like you said, I hope we don't see. It's all about expectation setting. So I hope we don't see people setting false expectations, like we're unfortunately seeing with saying this has to be decided on election night, and that's absolutely not true. And it's unfortunate we heard it from the head of the executive branch and a Supreme Court justice when that's just not factually true. Because nowhere in the Constitution or federal election law saying that. Because that would be ridiculous. Absentee ballots are counted, following for weeks as they always are. It's just the difference is we usually have such a high election day voter turnout that you are able to discern the voting trends and who wins certain states, precincts, and counties of that nature.
So you're saying we can't plan for a pandemic?
Shocking, isn't it?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think largely of the media, the media has been responsible in reporting. I think over the last 4 years, obviously there are people that aren't, and there are people that go maybe a little too far on not giving both sides, I guess, due fair share, like due voice. But in terms of that, it's been pretty. I'm talking on a wide level, fact based, for the most part, or at least people fact checking and being careful about what they're publishing and saying. I think we're going to see a similar outcome because I think people are going to be so afraid to call it. I think there will be some outlets that are going to be trying to say yes, 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 this happened, and there are going to be some that are going to be check with 14 other people before we call this because we do not want to be XYZ announces X the election goes to this candidate and then that be wrong and then you be ridiculed for 3 months up to inauguration day. So
Yeah, I just urge people to just check the facts, figure out, be patient. I'll be asleep before results are in for sure tomorrow
yeah,
night.
and it's also like what are we going to do? We're just sitting and watching it unfold, the results unfold. We've 92 million, I believe, was the last count. Early votes have already been cast. It's entirely possible this election's already been decided, and we just don't know it yet. So we're headed for a historic turnout, which is excellent. Which can only show that whoever wins, I would say, is almost just, I say there are caveats with this that come with this, but is deserving. If you get the highest election turnout and you win, I'm not going to comment on the electoral college system or the benefits and downsides of a national, of just a straight up and down popular vote. I'm just saying highest turnout and you win. Congrats. With the existing system, you win.
Again, you're thinking rationally.
I know.
How dare you? No, that's the way to perceive this. I mean, regardless of the result, I mean, we accept the results and move on with our lives, and we'll be okay. We always have
Especially
been.
because it's a largely decentralized process.
Yeah.
These are 50 different states and also territories that are casting votes. I actually don't. I know Puerto Rico. I can't remember if territories can vote. I know they don't have They can send congressional envoy, but they don't have any legislative power. I digress. So these are different localities that are submitting these results. So to see there's some cabal out there, in the background manipulating these, no, it is what it is. And like I said, I'm optimistic of the peaceful transition going forward on a large scale.
I like it. I think
If
we end
not,
on that note. That's beautiful.
we better look up how to swim to Australia.
Australia, Jesus. I think we can catch a boat before then sometime.
Hey, they got no COVID cases and it's awesome down there, I've heard. So I want to go.
Yeah, my buddy's there right now. He moved there right in the middle of the pandemic. We were worried about him. Now he's just living large and having fun. They're
He did it right.
in the clear. Yeah. Well, he didn't think so at the beginning.
Well, lucky him.
I sense a little jealousy in your voice there.
Just
Just a tad.
it's not even sensing. It's the majority of my voice is jealousy on that. I mean, goddamn, I wish, having canceled my trip to Australia in May. That would have been that would have been nice. Anyway, digress. Everyone who's listening, I'm sure you've already voted. If you haven't, go vote, or you hate America, and we will see. Yeah, I'm kidding. No. We won't end on that. All kidding aside, the right to vote is not a guarantee. It is a guarantee in this country. It's not a guarantee as you as a human across the world. A lot of people have died for that right. Go exercise it. No matter who you vote for, just make sure you vote.
Agreed.
All right.
Cool. Yep. Follow, like, subscribe.
Review, all of the above. See you next time.